myself. Yeah. I'm feeling myself.
Welcome back to another episode of Loose Ends, everyone. I'm Cece.
I'm Val.
And today we are going to have some fun. We're going to
Yes.
talk about, well, we're not going to talk about anything. We're
No,
going
we're
to
filling
shoot
the
some
blank.
questions at each other. And we both prepared some fill in the blank kinds of, questions. I'll
Yeah.
finish that thought. And we haven't seen the other person, so we don't know what's going to happen. And we hope some of it's amusing.
Yes.
And
I've tried to make it
We'll see.
somewhat amusing.
But it sprang from this it sprang from something I did with my granddaughter over the holidays.
Well, you did fill in the blank.
We did Mad Libs. I found a Mad Libs on, I don't know, dancing or something. I don't know what it was. So it was geared toward kids. And her, she doesn't know what an adjective is, so I had to tell her, there were some things that just didn't work. But anyway, it put in my head the thought of, well, that might be fun for us to do instead, in a little break from the chaos and the cacophony happening south of the border. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep
so
it light.
who wants to start?
You start.
I'm going to start?
Yeah.
That would require classes.
Okay. I have mine.
Which I don't have. Why don't I get those? I'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Right now.
And we're back.
Okay.
So, your favorite way of procrastinating is?
Watching television.
I just thought that was,
Is that like...
is that procrastinating? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. We'll
Yeah.
let that go.
Okay. Oh, I thought this was like supposed to be expressions.
Oh, what'd you do? Fill in the blank.
Speak of the...
Devil. Oh, ha ha. Got it. No wonder you thought that was boring then, because you're like, this is not going to work. Because it's so easy.
the questions are too fucking easy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I never...
Pause. Pause. We got our signals mixed
okay,
up.
here's one. Just you fill in this sentence for you.
Okay.
Right? I deserve a gold medal in... See? It's not so easy, is it?
Keep an eye with
I know
This
you
was
haven't seen
not the platform I was looking
Okay, well
at.
then we can both share. I'll ask and answer. I mean, apparently this is an interview. Cece is going to be interviewing Val today.
Okay. If I deserved a gold medal in something.
No, not if, you do.
No, okay, I do.
See, it's you with your little mini me going, I deserve a gold medal in... Booyah.
I would say
Oh, goodness.
tomato feta soup.
Okay, well, you got real specific.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say I deserve a gold medal in resilience.
Okay. All
But
right.
your
So if your
tomato feta
emotion,
soup, definitely, it deserves a gold medal. Her soup is absolutely to die for. Okay, but I would say all your soups are. So let's broaden it and say, and she is known for the tomato feta.
Yeah.
There is no question that that's the case. Okay.
but if it was emotional, like what did if I deserved a medal for like something based on me as like an emotional person, I guess I would have to say truth. Brutal.
Yeah. Okay.
You get the gold medal for telling the truth, whether I like it or not.
Yeah. No, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Your celebrity crush that makes you laugh is...
My celebrity crush. You
know what? I don't like that question. Let's say this. Do you have a celebrity crush? My celebrity crush is fill in the blank.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, honestly, there's just nothing bad to say about him.
Because you and I have just gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole yesterday with a new comedian that came across my screen that I have fallen totally enamored.
Oh my God, me too.
Josh Johnson, wherever you are, if you ever hear this podcast or if this crosses your
Oh
eye,
my
I'm going to
God.
put a hashtag in for
I
you,
tell
buddy,
you-
because I am a fan now. And he works
So
on The Daily
gorgeous.
Show. Who knew? Because I'm not watching The Daily Show that often. I'm not watching TV that often.
So
but-
funny and so gorgeous, but
And
he
it's
doesn't
his
know he's
style.
gorgeous.
Oh, I think he does.
Do you think so?
Oh, I think he does. How could he not?
I don't know, man. He's got this, like even if I didn't want to jump his bones, I'd still like to just hang out with him.
Yeah.
Because he's just that kind of guy. Like,
he tells stories.
Yeah,
He's a storyteller, not a joke teller. But anyway, he is a comedian.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And he is my newest favorite comedian. So there's my fill in the blank.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
My celebrity
Yeah,
crush,
no, it would...
Sam Rockwell.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
could
just
see that.
think he is sexy. I know he's not handsome. I know he's not even attractive by some people's standards. But man, the man can move. He can dance. It's like watching. Who's the guy who talks like this? And
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Walker.
Walker.
Yeah, it's like
Walken.
It's like watching Christopher Walken do that scene in whatever movie it was. I am so specific today, where he just dances down the aisles.
Yeah.
And there's something that's really smooth about him. Anyway.
And creepy at the same time.
Okay, ready? A new one. I'd eat blank every day if I could.
I do. Already.
But if you could, there's the key phrase. I'd eat every day if I could.
If I could?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'd eat bread every day.
If you could.
If I could.
Okay.
But I can't. So I don't.
Right. So
and we don't talk about it. Let's just not talk about it.
We're still grieving the loss of gluten.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, no, it's not that
me.
I haven't wiped it out, but I just, it's not a staple.
Bread anymore. And bread
Can't
is
be.
absolutely a staple for me, and so is cheese.
Yeah, I don't mind the cheese part, but no.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
See, I know the answers to these, but they won't. I've seen every episode of fill in the blank.
Oh, Chicago Fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only one?
No, Rookie Blue. 911.
Here she goes, folks.
That's because
The winters get long and cold up here.
well,
in Canada.
and I use it for background noise.
Yeah,
when
you
I'm doing other things.
You have it on a lot when you just...
It's like it. Yeah, I don't know. It's part of growing up because it really was very much a babysitter.
Food. TV to her is like chocolate is to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I must have it all the time. I must know that there's some in the house.
Right.
That's it.
Right. I do take a break from it, but
I got to know that there's some in the house. It's a real addiction.
Yeah, there's no question.
It's also
about
a real food group, so there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. I need lettuce in the house too. I need milk. I need cheese. So see how I rationalize this?
Chocolate is not a food group.
I rationalize this. Okay. I've seen every episode of The West Wing, Breaking Bad, Mad Men,
Mm-hmm.
Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about when they stopped making good TV.
Gilmore Girls.
I saw every episode of the Gilmore
A
Girls.
few times.
Same thing.
Yeah,
They stopped Parenthood. Wonderful series. Wonderful series.
Well, he's on 911 now.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And he married his co-star from Parenthood.
Yeah.
What's her name? From Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the star.
Yeah.
See, I mean, this is the only way I keep up with pop culture is to watch a little
Well,
TV
I
and
tell
then
ya.
I know who married whom. Do you know he's married to so-and-so in real life?
I know, it's
I
crazy.
didn't know that.
It's crazy when you, some of the
Okay.
connections.
If you could go anywhere in the whole world,
Okay.
time, money, nothing's an obstacle, right? If you could go anywhere right now in the world, you'd go to fill in the blank.
Man. I'd go to Tuscany.
Oh, well, what an interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd get that specific. Like
Yeah.
not Paris, huh?
Not it's
Interesting.
the climate.
Oh,
it's not
oh,
this.
oh,
it's
oh,
not. It's not
true.
any different there than it is
True.
here right now. I think there's places
Well, yeah, no.
that don't have the climate right now, and
See, I would choose Bali.
See, I could go there, but I'm
just
not.
found out
I'm not going to be.
They
I'm
don't
not.
have an extradition.
I'm not. Yeah, but what are you planning on committing
No,
a
but
crime?
Just in case Trump wants to come get me. I'll
for
stay
saying
involved.
fuck you, which is probably
on
by
our
right.
show with 25 followers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
They're in
you get that
danger.
bitch.
They're in danger.
Get them beaver
To my
bitches.
Get those beaver bitches.
Oh, we should have a bus. We should have a bus that says beaver bitches.
We've got a new name for our show. The beaver bitches. I think we should trademark that. I'm crying. I'm honest to God. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Okay.
Oh. A talent I wish I had.
Okay,
is...
so
Look at you. You've got tears in your eyes too. Would you like a little piece of that? Yes. None of it's snot. It's all tears. Okay, I know it's wet.
Well, but wait a minute. Back to that Bali thing. I do like the idea of Bali, but
Back to Bali.
I get scared of those countries, man, because they like steal your organs and shit. You know, like
Okay, so the
maybe
issue
not.
was, where would you like to go right now? No restrictions.
Yeah.
I assume that if I have the wherewithal to get my ass to Bali, I have the wherewithal to protect my ass in Bali.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
All right. So, the music you're a little ashamed. We won't use that word. A little embarrassed to love. Music or an artist that you're a little embarrassed.
Totally.
that you
I
love.
got this. Hank Williams Sr. Like
really?
in the 1930s. Yeah, like the down home fucking country, almost folky. I know it
but that's
word
a
for
good-
fucking word.
You know, there's no reason to be embarrassed by Hank Williams Sr. Or is that Junior?
No, that
There's
junior's an embarrassment.
Okay, so there's
family tradition. I did that on stage.
Well, you know more than I do about
Yeah, I
that.
know.
The most ridiculous movie or TV show that you've ever seen is fill in the blank. Like, as in stupid, like, why did I bother to watch that?
Oh.
A total waste of my
Problem
time.
is,
Not funny. Ridiculous.
problem is, if I get 1/3 way through the movie and I'm feeling that way, I don't fucking continue. I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with this because this is fucking absolute nonsense. If it doesn't capture me, like, I'll never forget that Everything and All at Once. That movie, I forget.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That movie.
Yes.
I remember I had put it on in the background. And I
had to
was
watch
doing
that 2
something
times.
else, and the corner of my eye caught him one of the characters at the very beginning disappearing in the elevator, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I was already 15 minutes in. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I put everything away, and I rewound it, and I was like, this needs my attention.
Okay.
It just got me. That
It
one
arrested you.
hook, it got me. And there are things out there that do get me very soon. But if I'm not interested, but I will. Yeah, no. I don't think I have one in particular that I could say. What about you?
I think, you know, and I know they became cult classics in a certain way. I didn't get any of the Hangover movies. As a matter of fact, that was when I started to not like Bradley Cooper.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yeah. I just, suddenly he became way too big for his britches in my view. And I was like, and I know he's good at his craft and all that good stuff, but like, I've never been a Bradley Cooper fan. And I think that also came from Wedding Crashers, because he played such a jerk in that one. And that's not fair, because that may
That's
not
just
have
a
anything
character.
to do with his actual personality. But those Hangover movies, just those kinds of things, really stupid slapstick. And here's another one. While I recognize his talent, Will Ferrell doesn't do it for me either. I don't care for his kind of humor. I don't care for the
I really liked Elf, but I'm not willing to go any further than that.
Okay,
with Will Ferrell.
And I don't think I've ever seen Elf start to finish, because it's Will Ferrell.
Right.
And that, so there again, my own biases coming up. Let's see. People say I look like fill in the blank.
Lady Gaga.
Yep. And that's true of you. And when I saw that question, I was like, oh, okay, we're going to ask you that. And you're going to laugh, and people watching will laugh too. Because I'm quite obviously out of this genre now, but back in the day, because there's this amazing time, as she yells at the microphone, in a woman's life, between approximately the ages of 15 and to some extent 45. So it's a good 30 years, where yes, you age, but you maintain your own look.
Unless you've had massive amounts of surgery.
Yeah. Or, I mean, it just, nothing really ages. I mean, there's no wrinkles on your face and shit like that. You look the same. I mean, you can tell there's maybe one or two, but, you can tell, she's 42, not 22, because of the
texture.
Plumpness.
Yeah.
But back in the day.
Well, and it's funny.
People used to say I look like Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
But a lot of it had to do with the hairstyles at the time, too.
I'm 18 years old. My father calls
I never
me,
saw it.
And Ken says, I just watched this movie last night. You are like the spitting image of this girl. The movie was Henry and June. And the girl was Uma Thurman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That I'd never heard that before, but one day I was walking through the C&E. It was probably in my early 20s, and when the guys try to get you to play the games, this guy kept screaming Uma to me. And I was just like, what?
Well, see, this is the effect of aging. Nobody yells Uma at her now.
No,
and nobody calls me Jen.
Yeah.
Okay, and anyway, so let's see. Your most embarrassing childhood memory that you can now laugh about is?
It didn't happen when I was a child.
Okay.
It happened when I was a young adult, well, like 20s. And I had a boyfriend who left this really disturbing message on my answering machine, like sort of like evilly laughing that he was, going to hurt me. And I called the police and had him thrown in jail for the weekend. And it was such an interesting thing. But anyway.
As one does.
Well, it's so funny because it was later on, I remember him saying, he was explaining to his mom that I was scared. That's why I did that. And I had to correct him and go, yeah, I kind of wasn't scared, eh? I was scared of what I was going to do if you came.
Ooh.
I was scared of me more than I was scared of you. And that was the honest to God truth.
So is this embarrassing?
No. So we go to court for him the following Monday when he gets out of jail, right?
Okay.
And I'm sitting in court. I'm so nervous and my stomach is a mess. And I just, in this silent moment, just release a fucking killer fucking fart. The entire fucking courtroom just stares at me. And I do this. I'm like,
I can't look at you right now. You do what?
I'm like, nerves.
you put mine to shame. That's funny.
I'm surprised the judge didn't go out of order. Oh, it was bad.
I can now, and these are fresh things. I didn't prepare this. It's like, oh, what was mine? Because you don't have any questions. So I'm like, oh, let's stretch it a little bit. Have an answer, Cindy. When I was, 21, 20, I was very young. I was in some sort of, I was in a car accident, and when was it? Oh, right. I had an appendectomy. I had a appendix.
Okay.
Almost burst. Like, they got it an hour before it was
Wow.
burst. I know. And so I was in quite some pain. And anyway, there was a young, what I can now see what happened. At the time, I was in pain, right?
Yeah.
And I was young and I didn't know better. And I'd also never been in the hospital before, as a child. And he said, he was doing, I guess he was the attending or the resident, probably the resident, not the attending, on this floor, and said something like, how's your pain, blah, 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 and I still feel it, and he said, well, let me take a look, you might have a UTI, uterine infection, right? And I didn't know any better, and we're walking down the hall, and of course you're in that ridiculous fucking gown that's open in the back, and my ass is there, but I'm also a 20-year-old woman, young woman, back when my skin was plump and everything was in the place where it's supposed to be. And I remember this moment as he walked by two young other doctors, probably first year, second year med students. Hey, you guys have never seen a pelvic, have you? Come on. And I saw the glint in his eyes, saw the kind of like, hey, here's one for you. And they got to watch as he gave me an internal exam. And I remember turning my head to the side, and it felt exactly like, I can't believe I'm sharing this right now, an invasion.
That's not okay.
Oh, of course it's not fucking okay. I could have stood up, but I didn't know any better. We didn't know a shitload back then, like, you shouldn't wear baby lotion, or what do you call it, baby oil, out in the sun the first time in May when you go out in the sun and you get blisters. No, we didn't know these things. I was telling somebody today, back in the day when my kids were really young, I remember driving on highways in a station wagon with both my kids in the back playing, sitting up playing with whatever they were playing with. And I'm just down the road. So we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
There was no seatbelt laws back then. Anyway, why did I start that? So,
chirp, 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 chirp. You can't hear it.
It had to do with embarrassing moments. So it wasn't a uterine infection, but I can laugh at it now, not in a ha-ha way, but in a when the way I read this question is kind of more like in a forgiving way, like.
Right. Shit happens.
He was a couple years older than I was, for fuck's sake.
Right.
And so they were probably 3, 4 years old, 24. I understand. And it wouldn't happen now. No. It wouldn't happen now.
Well.
But anyway, it was embarrassing at the time, but now I look back on it and I'm kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, I was so young and I've so forgiven myself for not knowing what I didn't know.
Right. And I think that's the key, right? Yeah. Is not knowing.
Let's see. I used to believe in fill in the blank, but now not so much. That changed the energy, didn't it?
I used to believe that belief was absolute, and now I don't.
Ooh.
So that's
heavy duty.
Yeah, that's really important to decipher the difference.
That our elected leaders had their people's best interests at heart. I no longer believe that. I wish I still could.
I agree with you.
I used
but
to
I can't
believe
say
that
about
the
my
people
country.
Who ran the big companies got there based on the back of their ethical choices, and they're not just for profit but also for people. And for some people that is still true. I have a brother that is true. His ethics and his people focus have made him extremely successful in business. However, that is not the case for most.
Right. Like, and it's not, because let's face it, most, like, there's a
Anyway.
lot of CEOs out there who are probably complete sociopaths because they can be in that position, you know, and, you know, you don't have to go out on the street and murder somebody with your own hand, you know, to know that you have a bad soul or bad heart or no soul at all. I don't know.
I think it happens so incrementally. In a way, it's no different than where.
Well, what's that?
Again, I'd like to believe that the GOP, that the Republican Party, there are still some people in there that are just fucking scared of Trump. I get that. Okay, you know, bullies are bullies. But at heart, I still want to believe that some of those people can understand what's happening and want to do the right thing and are just
and I think
brave people right now.
Yes, and I think what we need to understand is that the people are the key, because this guy and all these people running the United States right now, they don't know what hard times are. And let me tell you, with hard times
brings out character.
Well, but it also brings out a faith in something else. Without it. A faith that something else is there, and, you know, like, it brings that out. Whereas people like Donald Trump and them, they don't have hard times, so they don't need to be thankful to God. They don't have hard times, so it's easy for them to be corrupted. Whereas the masses down here, it's not easy for us to be corrupted, because we do look for faith. We do look for hope. I would still like to believe that the world is more good than it is bad. And I will tell you, in the grand scheme of things, 30% of people feel like Trump. That's not a fucking high percentage. Like in America, you know?
No, I get that. It's just, it's long ago and far away.
Oh, yes.
Here's a story. When I was in, I believe it was high school. So I started in 5th grade. It was 5th through 12th, girls' school. My father's parish, you know, had a boys' school and a girls' school, and I went to the girls' school. And there was one particular woman, and I'm not going to use her name. Anybody who went to school with me who happens to see this episode or hear it will know exactly who it is. She was the class bully. She came from money. She was probably the most fucked up. She ended up dying, I believe it was of an overdose, or else suicide. Mm-hmm. She was stunningly beautiful and ended up trying to make it as a model. Problems at home, I think, but it doesn't matter. It was all about the money. Anyway, the class finally had enough. There were only 30, 32 of us, whatever it was, 31 in the class. And we had a meeting.
Really?
Yeah, downstairs in the locker room, underneath the school. It's all been redesigned and it's, you know, all different now. And we met and we were talking about how we're going to stand up to her, you know, and it's just, if we stick together, we can do this, you know. And I'm like, yeah, because like she picks on all of us. It was disparaging comments. It was mean girl, mean girl stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we agree. I mean, this is a wispy memory, but I remember walking up the stairs, because it was the kind that does a U. 6 steps up, platform, 6 more steps up, or whatever it was. And there she was coming around the corner. And here's her whole class coming in. Hi, guys, what are you doing? And not a one of us had the balls to say anything. And I remember we all kind of looked at each other as if, well, what do we do next? And I think in that moment, I think we were 11th grade, or maybe 10th, but we all just went, we just live with it. Now, there's an end in sight, I think. But I remember the sense of, it just, you don't.
I don't think it's going to be that easy to live with. Either. I just don't think it's going to be that easy to live with. I mean, you can't.
Well, I didn't have the power, nor did she have the power to change, for example, the school class.
Yes, no,
routine,
absolutely, in that
or to take
situation.
away our
But in
food
this
money.
situation, I don't think people are going to be so quiet. They already aren't. You know? They're already talking pretty loud.
Finish with one other question, okay?
Okay.
You can pick whichever cat you want. I have 2 questions. And the second one will be around the cats because I'm making it up as I go.
Okay.
Okay. First question is, if your bed could talk, what would it say to you?
Maybe start sleeping on the other side for a while.
Okay. And if your cat could talk, and I know you have 3, so you can pick whichever one you want. Or all of them if you wanted.
Yeah. No, picking all of them would take all day.
If Callie could talk, she would say, first thing she would say is, come on.
Fuck you, Mom.
It's exactly what I was going to say.
Fuck you, Mom.
Fuck you.
I love you. Fuck you, Mom.
Yeah.
I love you.
Feed me.
Yeah.
Let me outside.
Treats.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
But give me what I want.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
begrudgingly admit that you are my person.
Yes.
Okay.
And occasionally I'll love you.
If Yoda could talk, he would say,
change my fucking kitty litter.
but you do it every day. I mean,
She wants me to change the kind.
oh,
I don't think he likes it on his paws.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
And if
Chico,
yeah.
he would be, you need to play with me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think Callie would say something like, fuck you, Mom.
Yeah.
Why did you bring them into the household? Things were fine.
Yep.
I was queen. And then you got these 2 boys.
I was an only
I
child.
don't care that I am their mother because I have forgotten that I gave birth to both of them. I hate them being in my space. Yep. Yeah. That's...
She did that.
And
He's
she's stuck
nicely.
with him
He's
for 10 years.
He's
10
nicely on the
years.
pillow today, and she is like right here, and she's reaching for him as she's like hissing, as she's reaching for him, and I'm like,
No,
you
mixed
ass.
messages.
Right.
Mixed
Right.
messages. But Mommy, I thought you loved me. All right. What's our feel-good story for
So
today?
today's feel good story is so adorable. Okay, I have to tell you about these 4 boys named Rory, Wes, Michael, and Jacob. And these kids are 11 years old, and they live in, I think, somewhere in Ohio, anywhere. And they decided that they were going to build a fort. And they have a TikTok account. Now, I will say that you're not allowed to have a TikTok account till you're 18. So their
Parents?
a sister's boyfriend is
Okay.
19, and he made this account for them, and he's been filming, and they decide they're going to build this fort. Well, oh my God, this gained mass following. They went from literally like 1,000 followers
Seriously.
to 100,000 followers. A GoFundMe was started to help the boys with supplies that they would need. It produced over $20,000.
For a fort.
Okay. But you should have
the
seen
fort look like?
they haven't started building it. They're just getting excavation next week. They've hired a guy to come and excavate the area so they can start the build. But it all started because they built this little bridge. Honest to God, this bridge out of like sticks tied together across the creek.
Okay.
And this is how they got on. This is where they decided they're going to build the fort. And so all of a sudden, like, people were like, I'm so with these fucking kids, man. Like, oh my God, I'm with these kids. And then other people are like, start a fucking Amazon wish list. We'll start buying it for you. So they had to get a PO box, and people are sending them materials and supplies. And it's just adorable. And this week he's like, I'm really, really sorry, guys, that we haven't posted. We've been kind of busy. They're 11, right? And he's like, but we're at Home Depot.
Cool.
We're at Home Depot, and we're buying some supplies. And next week is the excavation. And so you'll get to start to see that. And it's just this, they have reminded us all what it was like to be a kid. And here's the thing, like, when I was a kid, unfortunately, we didn't have those resources, but it is fucking amazing to see people come together and help these little 4 boys in the woods. build this fort. And now they're going to get like 2 like different forts built, and they're going to have all the supplies, and they have all the money, and they want to like donate other parts to like, different charities in their
like
communities. And like, they're lovely young little boys,
and they have dreams. The thing about going back to being a childlike, and a shout out to an incredible artist. You can see his artwork at michaelriceart.com, michaelriceart.com. He also happens to be my son, so there's that. When he did an extraordinary piece, as you are aware, almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, May and June of 23, yes, 18-story building, a mural outside, and he chose as his, and the winning concept, he had to go up against other people, and they chose him, the concept was of a child, 10-year-old boy, I think 10, give or take. So that same level. That era, a 10, 11-year-old boy opening up a jar of fireflies against the night sky with a look of wonder and awe as he opened it up and watching them fly out. And I think that there is a craving right now.
The world wants to go back to simple.
To innocence, simplicity, and a perspective that didn't include, as you say, good and bad, so much of the dark side. So again, how do we hold the frequency? And we were talking about that last week a little bit of.
Well, I tell you what, one of the ways that I have to is if I do get too saturated with news, I go on and I search for this little mini pony named Ozzy. Oh, yes, and he just scoots around the fucking pen, man. I just love him so much, and he makes me happy. And
so she goes for the little horses, and I say I go straight for the YouTube channel with.
Josh.
With David R. Hawkins.
Right.
And I watched a little old elfin man who's, he died when he was 92 or some such, but, here he is in his 80s still lecturing, and watching him, just listening to him, and the words he's using and the concepts he's talking about raises my frequency.
Yeah.
So that is something that I would definitely recommend to anybody who wants kind of an instant lift. You can't stay where you are.
No, and that's it. And if
you feed yourself something else. You don't stay hungry if you feed yourself a good meal.
Right, and that's
Same
it.
Diff.
You have to have to turn it off sometimes. And if you can't necessarily turn the whole thing off, then change. What your direction is and what you're looking at. Look somewhere else. Yeah, look somewhere else and read something more positive.
The antidote is always find something to feel grateful for. Yeah. I know that sounds silly if you're looking at the face of, oh my God, democracy's dying in front of us and we're going to enter another Hitler, period. And we're already there. Okay, so now, given that, now what? And
now it's time to just, organize.
You make choices about, well, what will I focus on? And I can still find things that I can feel grateful about. Yes, we're in the midst of a huge amount of change and chaos. Perceived chaos, always, and I hesitate to use the word always. This is a scientific thing, and I'm not going to go into all whatever it is, but this is cymatics, and this is science. The apparent chaos always precedes a new and higher form of evolution.
Yeah.
Apparent chaos, and that's where we are. We're in it. We're in it.
We will see. We will see. We will see.
And we were bouncing around, but we're having fun. See, it's making my shoulders go. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll talk to you
next time. Bye.